cliches you can think of.
Trying to avoid cliches like the plague. Here we go. Flag. Also, just to make the point, the Thailand car is out of harm's way as well, thanks to that safety car period. So it's been useful twice. And here comes the leader. And look, on his toes, Sasahara is away and gone. And you can't overtake the traffic until you get to the line. Malaysia comes up to try and overtake Kuwait. Well, OK, fair enough. But it's the pack behind we need to be looking at. 3 back markers. There goes Portugal. There goes Poland.
Yeah, now that overtake may well get a review as well, because you point out not allowed to pass until you go across the start-finish line. But now, all of a sudden, what looked like reasonable visibility behind the safety car, it's an entire side. And, I mean, that is exceptionally difficult for all those cars in the middle of that pack. How much can you see? Well, you can see very little other than the brake lights. Cars coming from you from all sorts, elected to the valley of, you know, charge of the light brigade. Oh,
that's Germany.
That got tagged.
That could be a safety car. We've just had Poland get ahead of Portugal. So off the road has gone Alfred Renauer. That was round the front of Nico Verdonk. Here's Verdonk. Is Germany, so there could be an investigation over that.
Absolutely, Nico Verdonk, but his pace, you can see he's going to be another challenge, although he's lying right now in 5th place. So he did get involved with the Porsche down at the bottom of the racetrack.
He's going to be 3rd, isn't he now, I think, because of all the shuffles we've had on that lap. So Belgium up to 3rd, first gear hairpin. Nico Verdonk, massively experienced driver, tries to get through the traffic. He's got Australia behind him. Look at France suddenly back at the races. Jim Pla in the Mercedes. But they've still got back markers to get through. We've got a yellow flag out. Are we going safety car? We are. Safety car is deployed again. Safety car on track. Belgium backs off. Australia passes.
Yeah, again, safety cars announced. The drivers made aware of it, and that's a pass under a safety car instruction. Again, the rain, look at the heavy rain that's now falling in turn 14. I mean, the track is now almost totally awash.
Right,
and
so
you can see Yasugara's face, he's, whoa, I don't fancy that. Coming down into turns 2 and 3. 99 Porsche has gone into the gravel at the seaside, because that's what you're doing. You're racing effective Stefan Goring, who had been in 7th place. He's not going anywhere else.
That was the tag with Belgium. It's Alfred Renauer at the wheel. The transponder's not working properly. Here it is. Look, the car of Verdonk gets up the inside, and the Porsche either got a tap or spun or both. But either way, off it goes.
The tap set the spin off. Yeah, very light tap would take very little to spin the car off. So it's in the gravel, and conditions up at turn 14. Even worse than they've been at any point in this race. So.
Right, 15 minutes to go. More replays of the moment. This is Nico Verdonk. He goes for the inside. It's difficult in these conditions, isn't it?
Yeah, but I mean, that was a clear, you know, it wasn't intended, but it was a fortunate consequence. So that was what was being investigated.
But he was then passed just as the safety car was called by Australia. So we'll wait and see if that is going to be rectified. Right now, Arturo Llanos is 11 seconds back, because there was traffic between him and Japan as they came across the line. Let's see now what the order is as the powerboat race comes down towards 7. Again, it's gone against Llanos. He's got 2 back markers to get through, one of which is Malaysia and one of which is Turkey. And the third one, in fact, apologies, Belarus is in the way as well. So Llanos is still on the back foot. It's still advantage Japan.
Yeah.
And there, Belgium allowed back ahead of Australia.
Look at that rain. I mean, it is absolutely pouring down. This is down at turn 7. And in fact, the whole racetrack now is just in the same big cloud dump up to turn 8. Just about there's one of our cameramen, and they are doing an absolutely sterling job in pretty dire, horrible conditions.
And the marshals too braving all of this so he can go racing. The order continues to shuffle. We've got Japan ahead of Poland, ahead of Australia, and then Belgium at the end of the previous lap, but that's switched back. So Belgium is 3rd, Australia 4th, France 5th, China 6th, Hong Kong from the pit lane 7th, 8th Russia 9th, dropping down to 9th Portugal, 10th America 11th was Germany, but that car's out of the race, so that's going to promote Malaysia, Turkey, Belarus, Kuwait and Britain.
It's almost a case of what's going to be the last nation standing. 13 minutes.
There's the last cameraman standing almost.
Yeah, well.
Not yet drowned. Yeah, thumbs up. Not a thumbs up from Alfred Renauer then. That car out of the race. incident involving Germany and Belgium under investigation. Not a surprise. And that's the state of the track right now. 13 minutes are on the clock.
I do suspect the Nigger Verdonk will have a drive-through penalty as a consequence of that contact.
As you say, not deliberate, but one of those things.
But the contact took out a car that was racing for position directly ahead. Consequently, the Porsche is out of the race, Team Germany's out of the race, and Netherlands is still in the race. So there has to be some kind of, you can't call it retribution, but there's got to be some kind of penalty to redress that situation.
Car 16 being looked at for the safety car procedure. That is Malaysia's entry. Wear on tan at the wheel of it. There it is, the El Bamba run Porsche coming over the line. A lap down in 12th place. It's a very slow pace, as you would expect, behind the safety car right now.
Well, I think the safety car's probably got as much difficulty staying on track as the race cars have.
Fair point, actually. So down here through the Curva Grande they come. Turn 1 is the king. Turn 2, this very, very fast right, the Curva Grande. And it's coming out of this that we've lost cars over the weekend, including Thailand, for example.
Yeah, that Porsche went off massively quick. There's the German entry. It's been dragged away. I don't know where the hole in the wall is that they can drag that car to safety to let this race. I don't know whether they're going to let it go back to green racing conditions with the level of rain that's falling, because what's falling in the circuit is keeping the level of water high. It's a bit like a king tide down at Pagan Beach and near Bognor Regis.
I was about to say that. You took the words.
Yeah.
I was fishing for the right analogy. There's number 1. That's Turkey. Really frustrating weekend for TF Sport. Tom Ferrier's team, Ayşen Güven, Salih Yoluç, who are the drivers. I mean, won the Nations Cup in the Mercedes last year, but it's the regular car for Salih Yoluç, and Ayşen Güven very good in Porsche Super Cup race winner at Silverstone this year. That's horrible. Look at the rain there.
Yeah, and safety, it's car 16 under investigation, safety car procedure. That was the pass in turn 12-13, we think. As we look at the Porsche. Oh, don't do that to my nice Porsche.
So the winners of race 1.
It's going to bump into the back of the tire. Oh,
winners of race 1 out of the main race.
You can just hear the cash register going ka-ching at Porsche Customer Service Department. Spencer Pompelli didn't expect weather like this. He thought it was going to be a lovely autumnal room. Yeah. All the romance, all the gorgeous food in Rome. Some very pleasant wines too.
Safety car on track, and then 3 back markers still between the top 2. So in terms of time, it's a modest gap, but it will take Arthur Janos time to get through that traffic, and he's running out of time because all of this is eating into the eye of the race.
Yes, it is. And of course, anybody, any driver, lead driver, second place driver, third place, all capable of getting called out by track conditions. What you might think is driving moderately or conservatively might just be that 1% above what is safe.
Now you're looking into the Polish garage effectively there. Vincenzo Sospiri in the spectacles. It's his team operating the Polska car, and looking at the back markers between. Ideally, they'd all come down the pit lane and open up the track for him. That ain't going to happen, as Hiroshi Hamaguchi looks at a race lead and possibly a race win. 10 more minutes to go here.
And I just wonder how much rain. One of the things about racing in the rain like this, or even driving at the speed, these race cars are not like your proverbial go to the showroom and buy the brand new model. They're made to go quick. They're not made to keep you dry. So water gets in, doesn't often get out so quickly.
So water in the works is a possibility. And right now, Russia is on target to win the FIA Motorsport Games, we believe, because of medals already earned, and Belgium and Australia are the only other nations that could win it, but they've got to win this GT race. Well, Belgium 3rd on the road and Australia 4th on the road, but Russia is potentially going to end the weekend as the best motorsport nation.
Well, it's a developing nation, and from a motorsport perspective, albeit they've had racing in Russia since the end of the Second World War, when they managed to get a few of the old auto unions over as part of reparations. But they've had a thriving motor racing, but it's been a localized, a national series. These are drivers that are coming out and competing on the world stage. That's a different discipline, and certainly we've seen in the touring cars, they've got a lot of talent there.
So they had a bronze in drifting. They had a gold, Russia, or she had, country's a female, aren't they? Gold in the touring car race. Right, let's go to Poland, as it were, because that is where Andrzej Lewandowski is watching his car in second place, but he's running out of time to be a race winner. Dakota is with him.
Andrea, now if this goes green again, are you going to have a chance to attack on Japan?
The first 3-4 laps, my tires is very okay, very good. The pressure is very nice, and that's why I the leading. But after maybe I overheating my tires, and that's why I should a little make cold my tires, and that's why the Japanese overtake me, you know. But that's why I drive very carefully, you know. I don't want to finish too early. I think about my teammate, and that's why I driving very carefully, you know. And that's why the whole race is the most important, not my stand. And that's why I think that maybe we still fight of the champion, yes.
Now Arthur's in the car. He needs to do a dobro boto. That's correct. A good job. Good luck for the rest of the race. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much.
Dziękuję.
The problem is they've got all that traffic between them. If it were the two of them nose to tail, it wouldn't be quite so bad, but there's no way Janos is going to be able to get through the traffic and then have the time to attack the leading car, especially with every lap under the safety car like this.
Yeah, and I just wonder how long the safety car, is it going to be a safety car finish? Because clearly race director wants to see a race finish as a race, not under a safety car, but he's got to take into consideration track conditions. Has the rain stopped? Have the conditions marginally improved? Would it be safe for me, bearing in mind the whole ethos of this particular weekend's motorsport, FIA Motorsport Games, is that the right thing to do, or is the pragmatic thing to do just finish it safely under the safety car and we'll have a winner?
With every lap the safety car stays out, it is harder to see the race getting back underway, isn't it? Because the conditions aren't improving. So if it's bad now and the rain's still falling, it's still bad. There is the German car out of the gravel and out of the way, but when Oliver Grodowski is happy, if he is happy, then the indication can be given that we will restart. But right now, it's still as bad a track surface as it was last time through, the time before that.
Yeah, the rain looks like it's maybe eased a bit. I can't see how much it's bouncing off the racetrack. Looks like it may have blown through, but it's just the volume of water as they come up here to turn 7. So clearly everybody's wipers are going. That's because of the spray more than anything else, but even the safety car, they're having difficulty. So it must still be considered to be too bad. There you can see the rain here up at turn 7. So it does look, with 6 minutes remaining, this will finish under a safety car. It's a sad way to end what could have been a great finale, but it's all in the interests of safety for everybody competing.
And of course, although we talk about the silvers and some of the pedigree that the drivers have, there is no pro, in other words, gold or platinum graded driver in this. It is a Pro-Am GT competition, so almost by definition, these are less experienced, I'm not saying less capable, but you know, they are the lower graded drivers. You would expect them to struggle more than a gold or a platinum graded driver. So what you might do is get the safety car in on the last lap so they can run to the checkered flag just for the photographs.
I somehow doubt it. Look at the rain on the windscreen there. I think that level of rain is just a risk one too many.
It'd only be one corner, of course, and it would still be under yellow flag conditions, so it's the notional photograph that they require with the cars taking the checkered flag but without the safety car in the shot, really. We'll see whether that is the case. Otherwise, they might as well put the red flag out now and call it, might they?
I don't think they want to do that. But you could bring the safety car in and allow what you've just said to happen. It would be the lowest risk option of any available.
So here they come over the line, and with just under 5 minutes to go and lapping at just under 3, it's going to be 2 more laps, isn't it? Now this is on board Belgium, and is that Q8 ahead of us that's in the spray?
Wow.
Suddenly spins. Wow, Nico Verdonk's eyes are out like chapel hat pegs there as he has to try and avoid that.
He did a good job, and that just indicates just how little traction there is out there. That's maybe why the safety cars remained. That was under acceleration, spun up the rear wheel, car rotated. Even in spite of having traction control, and most drivers tend to dial traction control out, they want to have the control of the throttle and what the engine's doing. But in these conditions, maybe you want a bit more traction control in.
So that's what it's like down at turn 4. Safety car on track. Field turning through. Great Britain goes through down in 15th place. There is America, which is out of sequence, but it's 9th, that nation. And this is currently lap 27, but I don't think we're going to go racing again, are we? The safety car may peel in, as I say, just to let them drive to the flag, but we're not going to have racing laps, I wouldn't have thought.
No, I think that call that you've suggested might be the option that race director could take. It's the option that would put competitors in the least amount of danger, and it would give, as you say, the opportunity for the winning car to take the checkered flag and all the glory that rightly the Team Japan has earned and deserves.
Drive through for Belgium for pushing another car. So Nico Verdonk, as you predicted, John, does get more than just his wrist slapped for the contact against Germany. So Belgium, I'm afraid, currently third. That's going to give Australia a bronze in this race, potentially third place. But still looking as though the overall gold medal for the entire weekend is going to be to Russia, and the race will finish behind the safety car. So there we go. We know what the order is going to be, except for Belgium, because what they'll have to do is add 30 seconds to the race time, and because they're all concertinaed like this, that 30 seconds is going to make more of an impact.
That's good. You might as well just go home now, not even bother taking the checkered flag. So that's a big penalty, bearing in mind that everybody's compressed in a safety car line. Look at here, we watch again. Well, this is what happened with the Porsche and the Audi. There we are, just going to turn in. And Verdonk is just carrying more pace than the Porsche. Again, this compressed field probably compounded the fact that the Porsche couldn't maybe accelerate as quickly as it wanted to do, but Verdonk maybe made the misjudgment of assuming that the Porsche would accelerate and got therefore caught out and consequently get penalised.
Like you say, not intentional, but it still happened. And so this is going to be the last lap of the race. There is less than a lap time left in the race. And so the on-the-road order is Japan, Poland, and then Belgium. And as Andrea Calderelli talks to Hiroshi Hamaguchi, unless the car expires on the last lap with water in the works, Japan will win the GT Cup. It's a real shame that the weather has had such a part to play in a negative way for the GT cars this weekend. And although Japan is very happy that it's going to be a win, we've been a bit shortchanged because of the weather, haven't we? Yeah,
in fairness, Team Japan was a very strong team across both drivers, and the FFF race team has been the dominant team in the Podium Championship, so they've done a magnificent job with their Lamborghini Huracan, the evil version of that car. And one might say, well, they won because they did the best job, but in this instance, that argument could be argued, but I have to say I think Japan are a worthy winner of this round.
So out of turn 7 comes the safety car, and Ukio Sasahara, in effectively his GT debut, is going to be victorious. And behind, perhaps significantly, Turkey, last year's Nations Cup winning nation, will be 12th in this race. Okay, a lap adrift because of an extra pit stop, but a case of what might have been. But the Aston has really not gelled with this circuit, it seems.
I thought it might have done. I mean, it's a car I always admire. I think it's a car that's got good qualities, but maybe, as they pointed out, sometimes in dry conditions they don't get the best out of it. It's slightly different to the V12 engine Aston Martin. It's a much more developed race car than the Vantage used to be. So, and changeable conditions, you lose track position, you roll the dice, and running on a set of tyres. It's not been their weekend.
So the checkered flag is at the ready, time is up, and the final activity in the FIA Motorsport Games, sadly, is going to be behind the safety car, but it has been a good weekend of action when we've had it from the GT cars. The Weathergons perhaps haven't been GT fans here. They didn't even smile on Italy when the car was going so strongly early on in the race. But for Japan, it will be a win in the GT Cup. The safety car brings them around then. Japan from Poland, and up to third is going to go Australia. The safety car does peel into the pit lane, so they will take the checkered flag without the safety car in the way. That means the photographs will be Japan taking the checkered flag. It's going to be Ukio Sasahara at the wheel, and yet another victory goes the way of the FFF racing team as the cars accelerate up towards the checkered flag. The GT Cup in the FIA Motorsport Games is claimed by Japan. The field pours across the line and the celebrations begin. This is one that Andrea Calderelli hasn't been involved in as a driver, but he's a very proud, very pleased team principal.
Absolutely, it's been a gilded year for the FFF racing team. They've worked hard. They came in as a big operation, 3-car operation in Blancpain alone, running a car here for Japan, and they've walked away winning the GT crown. And I think that, again, how many accolades can one team principal and principal driver in the team actually win? I mean, there's not much left in life for you, is there?
Next year's going to be a huge disappointment because there's nothing else to win. They can't do this again. Right, Hiroshi Hamaguchi is part of the winning combination of drivers from Japan. He's with Dakota, look.
Oh, Hiroshi, Subayashi, congratulations. That was a fantastic race. Was it nail-biting until the end? I could see you very nervous.
Sure, we didn't expect the safety car to come in, but for the safety, definitely we needed the safety car anyway. And the team has done a great job. We've won everything you could possibly imagine this season, and to close the season with this, I mean, can't be any happier.
Japan must be very proud of their 2 spectacular drivers. Are you waiting to see Yukio out the car?
Of course, yeah, he's done a great job. I can't believe this was his first time driving GT3 this weekend, and he's done just an amazing job. I'm happy for him.
Omedetou. Congratulations. Arigatou gozaimasu.
Okay, Sasahara, you get the feeling, will be signed up for a program somewhere, whether it's in the Asian SRO series or in Europe next year, because for a GT3 debut, that has been very impressive indeed.
Oh, no doubt. I mean, I think we've seen a couple of stars really shining here through the weekend, and not just in GT racing. And what I've enjoyed about this weekend, you know, just thinking about it, watching the race unfold, it takes me back to the days, I know it sounds terrible to say it, but in the days in Great Britain where we had wonderful national level multi-category motor races, really good racing weekends, and this has been a really great racing weekend.
This is how they came, not just across the line, but with penalties applied. So Japan victorious from Poland. Australia, brilliant way to end the weekend for the dad and lad squad of the Groves. France 4th ahead of China, Hong Kong, Russia. USA up to 8th, and Belgium's penalty, converted to a time penalty post-race, drops the car to 9th. Portugal 10th ahead of Malaysia, then Turkey, Belarus, Kuwait, and last in the end, Great Britain. So the nations that were 1 and 2 in the Nations Cup last year, 12th and 15th. This year, we lost Germany, we lost Switzerland, we lost Thailand, we lost Italy, Chinese Taipei, and Spain. And of course, not starting was Denmark. It's been a weekend of changing fortunes for many of the nations, but that one constant pretty much has been Japan. Quick all the way through. The one blot, really, was a puncture in the first race, but even then, the team had illustrated how quick they were.
It's an outstanding outfit, and the other thing that is important is that neither driver actually made an error that we saw. There have been lots of driving errors throughout the 3 GT3 races that we have seen here in Vallelunga, but neither Japanese driver, to my knowledge, made an error, unforced or otherwise.
So they're being indicated into the Parc Ferme area, and then hopefully to the podium is Japan. So your work isn't just done when you cross the line. You've now got to make sure you know where you're aiming for and get the car into the Parc Ferme, but it's going to be Parc Ferme conditions in front of the podium here for Japan. Yukio Sasahara very proudly will drive that car in front of the podium. This has been a big success as well. The paddock, all the GT cars facing into the paddock, not into the pit lane. The touring cars, the Formula 4 cars, the drift cars, under little shelters, a bit like you might have seen at Goodwood or the Le Mans Classic, so the fans can go and see them. They're not hidden away in awnings or in transporters. Everybody gets up close, and then the podium taking over a big chunk of the paddock. Everybody with little grandstand there can go and join in the celebrations.
Yeah, but you know, the key to all this is allowing the public access to the paddock. How often do we go to events? Access, you must be dreaming. Go on, sit in a grandstand, you'll be lucky to watch what you can see.
It's been free access for the fans as well, and it's been a busy weekend of action all over the facility. So, yes, says the FFF Racing team, what a weekend, what a season it has been for not only the team, but Hiroshi Hamaguchi as well. He is, Yukio Sasahara, not yet getting around to taking off his crash helmet, but that will happen in a moment. So, for the GT Cup, as Andrea Caldarelli congratulates Yukio Sasahara, it is the top 3 that take the medals, and then you've got the overall medals table as well, which will be in favour of Russia, and the closing ceremony will take charge of that later on this evening. So Yukio Sasahara about to take off his crash helmet. All smiles What a debut.
He might even be thinking, if I had known this was going to be so easy, I might spend more time in Europe racing. First race, come on, kid. Take a victory. Well, how easy can it be?
Might have done it sooner. Yukiya Sasahara then is a race winner here for Japan.
Yukiya, Sugoi race, fantastic, super race. Very, very happy.
Yeah.
You don't even have the words to speak, do you?
Yeah. Well, firstly, I have to huge thanks to Hiroshi-san who took me to this race and was such a wonderful team. I mean,
FFF has a really good season this year.
yeah, everything we got, so perfect.
Perfect day to be Japanese, correct?
Yeah.
Yep.
An amazing debut to GT3 racing. Welcome to the club.
Thank you very much. It was a nice debut, yeah.
Arigatou gozaimasu.
So, Yukiya Sasahara, we've seen in Europe in single-seater racing. Giorgio Sana there, the motorsport boss of Automobili Lamborghini, also joining in the celebrations. That's another trophy that Lamborghini can lay claim to as well. I mean, that's another element to this year. We talk about the team, but you know, Lamborghini as a brand has achieved a huge amount.
Yeah, and it's not a factory Lamborghini team, it's a customer Lamborghini team. And all these teams are customer teams. They're not factory in the sense that you would assume it was entered by the company. It's a great effort, and credit to Andrea Caldarelli and his backers who put this effort together over the back end of 2018 and have accumulated award upon award upon award.
The photographs are conducted. Japan, there, the livery, and our winners for Yukiya Sasahara and Hiroshi Hamaguchi. They are the winners. Australia take bronze, and the Groves are with Dakota.
A father and son duo seems to be a good one for you guys. Congratulations on third. It was a really good race.
Thank you very much. I mean, we've raced together not so much, and two of the times we've won, and today we came third, and after this morning and yesterday it wasn't likely. So for us, it's just amazing. It's a win after last year.
Happy with that?
Yeah, really happy with that. We had to work really hard, and to come here and represent our country, I am so stoked. It's fantastic.
It's all nice to see smiles. Congratulations, boys. Thank you.
Stephen Grove, a real Porsche enthusiast. I think I said in race 2, there's barely anything in Australia that you could race a Porsche in that he's not race 1 in. You know, he's done club level championships, national championships, GT championships, always in Porsches. And his son Brenton Grove, Porsche racer, but has raced in Super 2, the development series in supercars.
Do you think he's an air-cooled man or a water-cooled man?
Probably both.
I hope he is.
He's got a fleet of them.
Hope he is.
Thank you. Congratulations.
And it looks like a junior Japanese member. Well, maybe another 15 or so years he'll be looking to get behind the wheel of a GT3 or whatever incarnations we're going to be presented with. And, well, I mean, short of words really to say what this young man has accomplished. The hard yards, clearly, in my opinion, were done by Hiroshi Hamaguchi in that stint. Built up a lead, and what he did on those wet weather tires on the track, which really was more of a slick track, still was doing outstanding laps and still remained the tire with enough life in it not to lose ground.
The other good thing about this, and we had it last year in Bahrain for the GT Nations Cup, is, and we've made the point, John, over the weekend, that you have the different driver combinations, people in different cars, running with different teams, so many imponderables, and you look at an entry list and it's tough to know who is going to be the winner. Yes, all right, we knew Japan was going to be strong, but there were lots of other potential victors, and it's a really surprising top 3. Second, of course, here being Poland.
Dobrze robota, well done. A fantastic job to both of you. Arthur, your teammate was very, very nervous in the last minutes of the race.
Yeah, I started from pole. He made a great job to keep a lot of guys behind him all the time in P3, so then I had an easy job, I thought, but with better conditions that we had, it was like, I don't know, it was 50-50, or we'll go to slicks or wet. We decided to stay with wet tires, and in the end was great.
You must be so happy with P2 to see your flag up there on the podium. Congratulations.
Yes, we are very, very happy.
Thank you, congrats.
It's been a good week for Andrzej Lewandowski because he won the World Final Pro-Am class in Super Trofeo at Jerez last Sunday, and here he is as a silver medalist in the Motorsport Games at Vallelonga 7 days on.
You know, if you're a racing driver and you're not racing every weekend, there's something wrong with you, and that's what I like to see, guys racing all the time.
So the Japanese squad start to celebrate, the dignitaries being marshalled into place, ready for the podium, and the teams, the vanquished, now start to worry about packing up, going home, moving on to the next race. We were hearing from one team that there's a flight tomorrow to go to the other side of the world for the next international sports car race that they've got to go do. So the circus will move on.
Well, these cars are, I mean, they're virtually 365 a day race cars.
Yeah.
There's events. We're going to an event in South Africa, Kyalami, 9 hours. That's our next event. There are other events in the Middle East and in the Far East.
Yeah, some of the GT teams involved in Macau the week before Kyalami. As you say, the season gets longer and longer and spread further and further around the world.
David, it means, you know, think of all those trips, or think of all those air miles we're benefiting from.
I'll get back to you on that.
Avoid responsibilities. I'm good at that.
I'm joking. So the relevant sponsor patches put on the overalls as the podium ceremony is almost ready. Podium's impressive. There it is. And you see the teams, the fans all in front of it, just as it should be.
I mean, we see podiums primarily in Formula One, and it's a different world altogether. But when you see events like this, to put it into an area